Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. So I've been busy getting my range gear together. I'm headed out to the range this weekend to do some shooting. And I thought I'd share with you what I take to the range. Now I know this is fairly subjective for each person and it depends on what kind of drills you're going to be running and what guns you're going to be shooting. But in general, my range bag stays the same, so it shouldn't differ too much. Before we get into the actual range bag, I want to share a couple things that I always bring to the range, and they default go with me to the range because they're in my truck. First off, I always take medical with me whenever I go shooting. I always bring this box or my single IFAK if it's an indoor range. This goes on the shooting table. I grab one of the tourniquets, throw it in my pocket. I want to make sure that if an accident happens, I'm ready for it. Thankfully, nothing has happened yet, but I always want to be prepared because accidentally getting shot or some sort of range accident probably won't end well. You want to make sure you have some medical gear on hand for dealing with that. Second, I always have my Vertex bag with me, and this has got things like cough drops that I can suck on or gum I can chew. It's got some granola bars for snacking. I also keep water here, and I have water in my truck. I want to make sure I stay hydrated. So this always comes with me, so I keep all of these things with me as well. Those are very important going to the range. Sometimes I get working out in the sun and a few hours have gone by and I'm dehydrated and I realize I haven't drinking any water or my sugar gets low or something like that. So I want to make sure you have those things handy. But this always goes with me because I carry this everywhere, and my medical stays in my truck. So that's always going to be with me too. So let's talk about the range bag. First off, this is a Primary Arms range bag. I think it's like $30 on the website. It's pretty basic, but it does everything I need it to, and it's held up pretty well. A couple things to note: it's got some nice heavy-duty zipper pulls. These straps seem to be stitched on fairly well. I've got about 50 pounds of gear in here, and it's holding up pretty well. Also, the bottom has got a rigid panel, so it makes it super easy to load, and it keeps its form really well. So no complaints. We'll run it until it breaks, and then we'll figure out a solution then. So right on top, this doesn't fit in my bag, but this is just a roll of, I think it's like drawer liner or some sort of brown paper, and this is my easy solution to targets. So I grabbed some old Amazon boxes or old cardboard, and I just cut pieces of this, and with my Sharpie, which I also keep in the bag, I just draw some targets on this. This is a pretty simple solution and cheap solution for targets. I've used this roll probably for 4 or 5 range trips now, and it's definitely saved me in costs. So that's one thing I always keep with me. Let's work on the front here. So this is my magazine pouch. I've got pistol mags in here, depending on what pistols I'm going to take with me to the range. I've also got some AR mags in here. I've got a speed loader for my pistol. It really all depends on what I'm going to be shooting that day, what goes into this magazine pouch. So this weekend I'm going to be shooting my AR. I'm also going to be sighting in an AR, so I'm going to be doing some bench shooting. So I have a little shorter one here, so it won't hit the bench, and I can put it up on a sandbag without any issue. And then I've got some pistol mags, so planning on shooting my Glock and my SIG a little this weekend. Let's tackle this side. So this is my cleaning and kind of my tool pouch. So I've run some Ballistol. I'm sure there's better brands out there, but this is what I use. It works great. I haven't had any issue. I've got some range flags, a whole bunch of these. These always seem to disappear from my bag, but at the range I go to, they require, if you're not shooting it and you have it on the table, it has to be flagged. So I've probably got a dozen of these in there. I've got cleaning rod, and the reason I've got a cleaning rod is in case I get a jam. The last thing I want to do is drive an hour to the range and get a jam in my barrel and not be able to push it out or shoot anymore. So I keep the rods in there so I can push it out if I need to. I've got a little baggie with some of the MagPul sight tools and some Allen wrenches and things like that. So just some random tools that I've accumulated over the years that I might need. Nothing super fancy there. Let's go to this side. Right on the outside here, I keep my blood type. This is in case there is an emergency. People know exactly what my blood type is. I think this was like $1 on sale at Primary Arms, so definitely worth picking up one of those. So on the inside here, I've got my pen and paper, so I've got my Rite in the Rain book, and then I've also got some Sharpies, and then I have my pen and pencil in my bag. What I use this for is, with cost of ammo and just time constraints, I want to go to the range with a plan. So I've got my drills that I'm going to run in here, and I stick pretty close to the book so I know what my round count's going to be, and try to stick to that as well as I can. Also, I jot down my times, and we'll look through. I've got a shot timer. I jot down the times that I run just so I can see I'm making improvement, if my dry fire is working. So just a book you can carry with you. And then the Sharpies are important to mark your targets. So after I go up and shoot, I'll take my Sharpie and I'll mark my shots so that I can keep using the same paper and cardboard over and over again. Plus, Sharpies are just good all around to have. I always keep a couple in my truck. This pouch is going to deal primarily with targets. So I've printed off a bunch of these targets. If you go to T-Rex Arms, you can print off a bunch of these. Print paper and ink are pretty cost effective instead of buying targets. So depending on what you're going to shoot, you've got some warm-up drills, you've got some cadence drills, and different drills you can run with these. So I keep these, and I always warm up and run some of these as my drills. If I'm just shooting on paper, I have these orange stickies, and pick these up at Walmart or something. They're pretty cheap. I just slap one of these on the paper so I can see it at distance and use this as my target. I always carry a stapler, and I always carry extra staples, because chances are if you take your stapler, it's either going to be out or you're going to run out. So always have some extra staples with you as well to keep in there. I have a back pocket here. I don't have anything in there. I don't need it for anything right now, so we're just going to leave that empty. Set my cleaner back in here. Don't want to misplace something. So the main pocket is where everything's at, and we'll kind of walk through what each thing is for. I've got these wipes. I'm sure other brands will work. They also have soap, but I don't like to leave lead on my hands, especially since I have to drive from the range back to the clubhouse to wash my hands. So I got these wipes. After I'm done shooting, I can pull a wipe out, wipe my hands off, and get most of the lead off before I even get in my truck. So keep those on hand. I keep my fix-it sticks. My wife got these for me as a Christmas present. They're fantastic. This is in case my optic comes loose or something else comes loose. I'm able to just quickly put it back together without any issue. Like I said, I have a shot timer. This is something that's fairly new to me. I've never actually used it, so this weekend it's going to be my first time using it. This is the PACT 3, I think it is, shot timer. And why it's important to have a shot timer is if you don't have a goal, or if you're not tracking your progress, it's really hard to know if what you're doing is working. So let's say you go to the range and you do a whole bunch of dry fire. Well, how do you know the dry fire is working if you don't have hard numbers to match against? So my plan is to get my numbers. This is February of 2022, get my numbers, and then every 3 months recheck my numbers with the same drills and see if what I'm doing is making progress. And if I'm not making any progress, then I probably should change when I'm practicing and dry firing. So shot timer. Hearing protection. I also keep backup, like the in-ear protection, in the cab of my truck. So depending on what I'm shooting, I might double up, but this is the electronic ear protection. I've got a Primary Arms shooting mat, and this is in case I want to do anything on the ground and I don't particularly want to get dirty, or if I want to shoot prone with my bolt action, or if I just want to lay all my guns and gear on the ground. This is perfect for that. I don't care if it gets dirty. I just roll it back up, throw it back in my range bag, call it a day. So I think this is the smaller shooting mat. It's not the big one, but this one works just fine. I've got different kinds of ammo in here. So like I said, I'm going to be sighting some stuff in. So I've got some match grade ammo and different grains that I'm going to run just to see how they work. And then I've got some range ammo for my AR, and then some range ammo for my 9mm. And then this is a cool little bag from Save Your Equipment, and this is what I carry my pistols in. So I've got my SIG in here right now, my SIG P320 compact, and I'm just going to throw that in here, and it's nice, safe, and secure for when I get to the range. In addition to all of this stuff, I also take some extra cardboard, so I'll get some old boxes that we're going to recycle and just cut them to size. I also have target stands that I will maybe show you once I get out to the range, and I take some 1x2s. The range usually has target stands, but if I'm driving an hour, I don't want to take the chance that maybe someone swiped them for another range or are using them. So I want to make sure that I'm fully prepared when I get out to the range. If you have any comments or any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them, give my thoughts. If you see something that I'm missing that you take to the range, feel free to let me know. Always happy to add to my range bag so I can be better prepared. As always, stay safe, be tactical, and I'll see you in the next video.